House is available as well. And if you look at a map of the 18th century, Philadelphia sits about in the center. So here they came. 13 tables were assembled in this horseshoe alignment. Charles Thompson, the longtime secretary, would take the minutes over here. Tate Randolph, our first presiding officer, would sit up here. He eventually would be replaced because he was stricken by a stroke that eventually would take his life. His replacement, some guy named John Hancock. Benjamin Franklin over here at the Pennsylvania table, along with James Wilson, a brilliant Scottish attorney. John Dickinson, who turned out to be a much more conservative member of Congress than people originally thought, and so forth. Of course, Benjamin Franklin had just returned from England less than a month prior, so Franklin was fully aware of what the British were thinking about the rupture of relations between many of the colonies and the British government. And briefly, ladies and gentlemen, George Washington would take his seat over here at the Virginia table, still wearing the same blue above purples uniform that he had worn proudly during the French and Indian War. So Washington visually was telling his fellow delegates, hey, look guys, if we are going to create a continental army, I've got my uniform on, I'm already ready to go. Just say the word. And he was appointed to serve as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army and was soon off to fighting. Now, having said all that, if you think that everybody was in favor of this rebellion, which had started in Massachusetts, you would be mistaken. In fact, it would take over a year before one of the Virginia delegates, namely Richard Henry Lee, offered a resolution the first week of June of 1776. Resolves that Lee, these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states. So they decided to form a committee of 5 people, but only one person was designated to do the writing.